Hey guys, welcome back to the Healing with VoiceOver course. In this video, we're going to take those meditations and affirmations and mix them with music, add sound effects, and then convert them to video. If you don't have a DAW or a DAW, I would highly recommend the Creative Cloud Desktop, the Adobe app of suites. For I think I pay about $32 a month, you get a full suite of apps. You have Photoshop, Illustrator, you have the PDF Acrobat, you have Premiere Pro, you have After Effects, and of course, Audition, and a slew of others right at your fingertips, and that subscription is paid for over and over and over and over for me. I love this suite of apps, and I cannot recommend it enough. So let's get into this video. Okay, so once you are in Audition, go to File and select New, Multi-Track Session. And then we're going to name this one So here's our multi-track session. Now notice there are a lot of different track spaces here. We can put an audio track in each one of these slots. And I think you can have quite a few. You can always add more if you wanted to, but for voiceover, we only deal with maybe 3 or 4 at most. If you got some animations or something like that, there might be more, but I typically work with only maybe 3 or 4 at most. So first thing we're going to do, I typically just bring over a meditation track, and let's fix this here. I will generally start a meditation track at around the 6-second mark, because when you bring music in to another slot, I want the music to play. I want the music to get started to kind of set the mood before the narration actually starts. So I will generally start a meditation, affirmation, whatever it is, about 6 seconds in, so you can hear the music before you start. So let's take a listen to this really quick. Body scan and relax. See, it's nice to have a little bit of the music starting before we hear anything, just to kind of set the mood and get you into that relaxed state. Okay, so now we're going to make a few adjustments because music is going to be pretty loud. We don't want it to drown out our meditations or our narration track. So there's a few different ways that you can change the volume of these tracks. One of which is this volume knob right here. You can turn the track down or turn the track up. You can also adjust it here. So you can fine tune it a little bit. And then you can also adjust it here. This is also a volume bar. Now, this one is going to come in handy if I use it when when you're narrating. Sometimes you might say a word or a phrase a little bit louder than perhaps maybe the rest of it. So you can adjust individual parts of a track. If you select this yellow bar here, if you click on it, you'll create what's called a keyframe. So if you create a keyframe on either side of a piece of narration that you need to amplify or bring the volume down, you would create a keyframe around that section. You can either drag the volume up for just that section or down, depending on where you need to make the adjustment. So this is very handy as well. You can also do that with music. Say if there's a section of the song that, gets a little bit louder or a little bit softer, you can also adjust the music track in the same way, which is nice. But for here, we're going to decrease the volume of this music track because I want it softly playing in the background. I don't want it to overpower our narration here. And also, this particular song takes a couple of seconds to start. So what I'm going to do is actually shorten it a bit so we can start to hear music a little sooner. That's a little better. And then also, if you want to fade in or fade out the music, you can do it in one of two ways. One is this little box here. Just grab it and drag it, and that will fade the music in. And you can have it go just about any which way you want to. But personally, I like to create the keyframes and just fade it in this way. It works better for me. I like this fade from absolutely nothing to something rather than just a soft fade in, especially on the ends of a music track, because you want the music to completely fade out, maybe not at the end of the song. Maybe it's in the middle of the song because time will not allow you to play the entire song. So doing this at the end of a song on a especially long track will be preferable for me. Let's take a listen to, after we've turned this track down, let's take a listen to it and see. Body scan and relax. Let's start by taking a deep, cleansing breath. Okay, so I can already tell that I want to slow down this meditation. So what I'm going to do is take my little razor tool here, and I'm going to just cut this track. And then if you move your mouse to the top of the clip so it no longer shows that razor, you can drag it to extend those pauses in between words. So let's take a listen. Body scan and relax. Let's start by taking a deep, cleansing breath in through the nose. Okay, I will want to drag these out a little bit further. Let's start by taking a deep, cleansing breath in through the nose and out through your mouth. Okay, so once you go through the track and you cut and move all of your sections to where you want them to be throughout the entire track, let's just quickly cut this one up a little bit so we can... Okay, so we've gone through this entire meditation and extended some of the pauses to make it flow a little bit better. I actually want to add something else to this track. I am going to add some sound effects. I use audio blocks for music and sound effects and video. And this one in particular is a forest kind of a feel. So here, take a listen. Yeah, let's start it right here. Let's take a listen. Let's start. Okay, that's nice, but it's very loud. So we're going to turn this track down a bit. By taking a deep, cleansing... Still a little loud. Let's turn this down a little bit more. Breath in through the nose and out through your mouth. That's nice, but I would still take that down just a little bit. Good. Now, take note of how the crown of your head feels. Now, let's go down just a little bit more. Let your focus... We want those to be very, very ambient. Okay, so this little piece of sound effects is very, very small. So we need to loop this puppy. And you don't have to loop it back to back to back. You can actually move these around to wherever you want them to be because you still have music going as well. So you don't always have to have constant sound effects going. You can place them in wherever you want them to go. For instance, if you have a meditation that is mentioning a water fountain or a beach, and you want that sound effect to only play when you're talking about the beach or the fountain, you can take those sound effects and place them in with that narration so it only plays at that section. You can get as creative with this as you want to, and I would recommend that you do because your clients will absolutely love it. There's a lot of things that you can do. If you want to, let's say this was a affirmation. We want this clip right here to have a echo or reverb effect. If we go over to clip effects and we had our reverb and echo preset, let's take a listen to this one.
How does your head feel? Ask it to relax a bit more.
The only thing about this effect is that it made it quite a bit quieter, so I'm just going to turn the volume up on this effect and take another listen.
How does your head feel? Ask it to relax a bit more. Let your focus move down to your nose. Feel the air moving in and out with each breath.
That's nice. I personally like that echo and reverb. It's pretty cool. But obviously, when you use that, you're going to want to make sure that there's enough space between your sections of narration to allow that echo and reverb to carry on through to the next set of words. So you don't want to have it playing in a section or, have only a second or two. You want to be able to hear that reverb and echo. So have at least 2 to 3 seconds or more between your verses or sections of narration to allow that reverb and echo to be heard and resonate as the client is listening to it. Okay, so let's just say we have this track completely set up the way we want to. We've got all of our sound effects in. We've got our music is done. We want to finish up this track. Now, as I mentioned before, some of these music tracks are a lot longer than your actual narration is or your meditation track. So to cut this off, there's a couple of ways that we can do this. We can either select an area we want the music to stop and create a keyframe, and then create another one, and then just pull the track down, the volume down, I should say, to completely, mute the section starting here at this point. Or we can take our razor tool and cut the track and then right-click, cut it out completely. But if you do that, you definitely want to fade out the end of the music track by either doing this with the keyframes or by using the fader. Now, as I said before, I prefer using this method only because it sounds better to me. But if you have more than one music effect or sound effect in this track, you're going to have to fade it out for each of them. So for instance, if I had the birds going here at the end of this music track as well, you're definitely going to want to fade those out with the music as well. It just makes it sound a little bit cleaner. So let's take a listen to that fade out so you can see what I mean. Yeah, it's a nice clean exit. I really like that. So once we have our meditation track just the way we want it to be, we have the music in, we have sound effects, We have reverb and echo. We have a beautiful track. What do we do now? Go up to File, Export, Multi-Track Mixdown. We want the entire session. We want everything that we just put into this session. We want the entire thing mixed into one track. So we export it as an MP3. I would recommend always delivering your meditations and affirmations as stereo. Most often, your customers are going to be listening to these with headphones. So we definitely want 2 channels of audio. We don't want these mono. So click OK once make sure it's stereo. And click OK, and it'll export it. And then here is our finished track.
Body scan and relax.
Now, if you want to get extra fancy, you can add some metadata. You come up here to ID3 and punch in the title. So this title will show up when the client plays this meditation on their MP3 player, if they play it on their car stereo, wherever they're listening to this track, this is the title that will show up. So that's just an extra nice touch for the client when they're playing their meditation track. And make sure you save your changes. So that is how we edit and mix and add sound effects to our meditation and affirmation tracks in Adobe Audition. So now we're going to take this mix down meditation and turn it into a video using Premiere Pro. Here we go with our blank canvas. The first thing we're going to do is pull in our meditation track. And then we're going to select some footage. Now, I have a lot of footage saved on my computer only because I use a lot of these frequently. You don't have to save them to your computer. You can always just download it, use it, delete it, re-download it as you want from whichever site you're using, but I save them all for easy access. Okay, so the website that I use for my video, my audio, for my images, for my sound effects, for my loops, I get everything that I use for my business from Storyblocks, also as audio blocks. I think I just upgraded to get the video components. I think it's $350 a year, and that also comes with their license to use everything just about anywhere. And you're not the end user. You can recreate anything and sell it to anybody an unlimited number of times. So that peace of mind is priceless in itself. And they do give you a copy of a license with your name on it. So if you ever have a customer that says that they have a copyright claim or some sort of an issue using your digital media, you can supply them with a copy of that license to show that they're fine to use it, that the person they purchased it from has license to use these. But there is tons of videos in here, tons in 4K HD, just absolutely beautiful stuff that I use for my videos. Also, the audio side has got music and loops and sound effects. And not only that, they also have still images, photos, vectors, illustrations. Anything you could want is right here on this website. I highly recommend it. I use it almost every day. So let's pull in this one. This looks nice. Now, if you want to change the speed of the footage, if it's like panning from one side to the next and it's going super fast and it looks too fast for your narration speed, you can change it by selecting clip speed duration, and you can change the speed to 75%, 50%. And that, of course, will also lengthen the footage length. But it looks like we're going to need another one. So you can copy the footage that you already have, and that will also copy the speed. And then just place your playhead to where you want to paste it and hit Control V to paste in that clip. And then just continue to do that until you get to the end. And then now we have too much footage. So if you take your razor tool and go right to the end of the meditation track and cut it, and then just remove the excess. If you insert a little transition at the end, it gives it a nice fade out at the end. You want to do the same thing with the beginning so it fades in and fades out. That's just a nice touch. Okay, you don't really need to do that so much for the audio because we faded the end of it in Audition when we made the mix down. We've already faded the end, so we don't necessarily need to do that with the audio, but you can if you need to. You can always right-click it and apply a fade in and fade out on the audio as well. Now, since we added more than one footage piece, we need to add a transition to these as well. So they don't, although you can't really tell with this piece of footage, but if it's something that's maybe panning from left to right, you want it to kind of dissolve into itself so it's not an obvious jerking transition. So if you right-clicked where the two pieces meet and apply a default transition, you can't really see. It's very, very small. Let's make this bigger. Oop. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. So if you hover over it, you'll get this little icon. So if you click it and then right-click it, you can set the transition duration. Let's make this one, I don't know, 25. And then you can move it around to wherever you want it to go. And then you can also drag it out to, however big or however much transition dissolve you want. And you can change these transitions to really anything you wanted to. If you go up to these video effects here, you can change the transitions to a lot of different types, but I just stick with the dissolve. That works for me. So let's watch what this does. This example is actually bad because there really isn't a sharp transition between the pieces anyway. But take my word for it that this is a nice, where'd it go? This transition is a nice dissolve. This is a nice way to transition between these two pieces. So then we'll do that for the other pieces that we added. All right, and once you have all of your transitions done and you're happy with your video, then you would come up to File and Export Media. The output name is going to be the name of your video. So you want to click on that and change it to whatever you want it to be. Once you have a destination for that, you go Save and then Export. Oh, side note, the format H.264 is MP4, and that is what you want to save it at. All of the other default settings should be fine, already set up through Premiere Pro. And once you have your name changed, just export, and that'll export your video to wherever your destination is, and then you have a beautiful meditation video. And then there's also lots of other, graphics that you can put in there if you want to. But if you think about it, most people watching a meditation video will most likely have their eyes closed, so they're not going to be watching anyway. But you can put in, I have clients that like me to put in, text like, share, subscribe, that sort of thing. You can do that really easily. If you go to Essential Graphics, and then Adobe gives you a lot of templates. And you can star your favorites. Like I like to use this lower right third 2-line. And then I just grab this and drag it in. And then once your playhead is over it, you can watch the animation. And then if you want to change this text, you just click on it and change it to whatever you want it to say. Like I said before, most of the time it's like, share, subscribe, that sort of thing. And then you can, if you make this bigger, you can see more of a, there we go. And you can change the length of this graphic as well. And it'll give you a preview up in here. So there's a lot of cool things that you can do with Premiere Pro, but I like to be fairly basic in my meditation videos. I don't get too crazy because I don't offer video services per se. Making a meditation video for a client is just an extra bonus for me, to just another bonus option I can offer my clients. It's not something that I do full time. So my videos are fairly basic. There's nothing too complicated, but you can do whatever you want to do. So that is how we create a meditation video. A couple of great websites to go to if you don't have Premiere Pro or you just want a free option. One of them is headliner.app. With this website, you can make social media posts. You can make short little videos. Like for instance, if we wanted to, let's say if we want to just create a YouTube video here for like a meditation, you can drag in any footage that you have, pictures, you can make it into a slideshow. And with the audio, you can pull in your meditation, you can put in text. It's very, very easy to use and it's super awesome. I have the free membership and I think you get 10 videos a month, which is plenty, I think, for right now. I'm not sure how much it is to upgrade. I have the free membership, like I said, but it's definitely something to use. And like I said, there are a few different sizes you can use for Instagram, for whatever. So this would be a good place to go for to make some free videos, really super easy. Another good website to know is Canva. This one is more or less for social media posts, but you can make just about anything with this. You can make Facebook posts, logos, flyers, you can make book covers, Instagram stories. You could do a lot of stuff with this. There's tons of templates already made. You just have to basically insert your text, insert your pictures. There's a lot you can do with this. I know I've personally used Canva for my Fiverr thumbnails. I know a lot of other people have as well. Super easy to use and it's free. The free option, there are tons of available templates and fonts, and there's a lot available just for even the basic free account. There is an upgraded membership. I'm not exactly sure how much that is. I apologize. I'm sure somebody out there can tell me how much the pro is, but I think a benefit to going pro is that you have the availability of all of the fonts and all of the photos and all of the vectors and that sort of thing. But I haven't had any problems finding what I needed with the free account. So that is another really great website to know of and use. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this video on mixing, editing, and video creation. I hope that helped. Let's get on to the next video.